1970, we sure we did before front. Knowledge for selfish, for sure we did the work. Auditorium to basement of all faculty of law. We did represent, stand tall anywhere we go. Work hard and we shine, commitment, dedication. Neurosurgery, comedy, music, Nollywood. SOTK, Dr. Call, MC Casino. We did represent, stand tall anywhere we go. Great UNIBEN, great UNIBEN, great UNIBEN, great UNIBEN.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode of the UNIBEN Alumni Series. This is a show where UNIBEN alumni are celebrated while we also give kudos to the institution, one of the best tertiary institutions in West Africa, the University of Benin. And on today's episode, I have a senior comrade in the studio today with us. Is Comrade Roy Oribhabor. He's a human rights activist and a social commentator. He's the convener of the Concerned Edo Citizens Forum. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Sociology and Anthropology from the Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Benin. Thank you very much, Comrade Roy, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me once again.
Thank you. Traditionally, I usually start my set of questions from UNIBEN, your time in UNIBEN, but today we'll tweak it a bit. Let's talk about the Nigerian political scene. In a recent interview or a discussion you had with a media house in Benin, you talked about Nigerian politics and Nigerian environment being unusual because of the kind of things we see in our politics. What in other climes, what people would think is normal is okay. It's quite not normal with us in our political space. And I want to ask people like yourself who are very vocal about the right things to be done. How can people like yourself, social activists like you, how can they help in improving our politics? What do you think you need to do differently? Because before now, we have seen human rights activists from the Fellas to the Falanas to the others. What do you think we need to do? Because it is perceived that our politics, our political ethics is declining by the day. What do you think people like yourself, human rights activists like yourself need to do to help improve our politics?
Well, once again, I sincerely appreciate you. I thank you for this wonderful opportunity. This is your platform. I am humbled to be in this your platform. Nigeria state, I will continue to maintain that it's an unusual environment. Because a society who does not believe in strong institutions, but believe in strong individuals cannot, I repeat, cannot develop, cannot embrace growth. That is where we have found ourselves. And the only way out is that we, the activists who are there, will not give up. We continue to interrogate the process. We continue to mobilize ourselves. We continue to let the people know. About 3 days ago, I was talking to the world via my social media that Nigeria people don't need to give up. Because some persons are reaching me, we will not vote again, especially those we work together in the obedient movement. Very just now, they are saying, no, we have given up on an election. We don't want to vote again. When you start hearing this, it's a clear indication that people have been overwhelmed. Their hopes have been shattered. Their plans have been battered. And they don't see any clear vision for prosperity. Then they begin to reason and not this land. But we are saying as an artist that we should not give up. Rome, they say, was not built in a day. And Nigeria equally was not destroyed in a day. Therefore, you cannot, it's a process for we to get it right. You know, we must not give up about Nigeria. We must continue to push forward. We must continue to tell the people that they should not give up. If you take your mind back, great leaders like Lee Kuan Yew, who worked very hard in Singapore, was also an activist. You know, that he did not give up. It was that consistency, that resilience that made people to take him serious at the time. And he was able to find himself in government. When he found himself, what did he do? He changed the narrative. He changed the narrative and he came up with a workable direction. Today, Singapore is a country that we are all proud of. The whole world is proud of Singapore because of a woman who took a decision to say, let's make it work. If you come back to Nigeria, you saw a man called Chief Khalifa Oimi, a very prominent activist in the legal movement, who believed Nigeria can embrace an egalitarian society. You know, he was there, he contested. But because the institutions we have around us does not allow credibility to have its way. Therefore, he was not able to make it to that top. Why am I giving you? I'm giving you painting a scenario to you that one, Nigerians don't need to give up. We must continue to be very consistent. People are saying, no, in the last obedience struggle, some persons will throw some persons. There are some persons who I know who find themselves in the National Assembly, naturally, who cannot win councillorship. Because of the desire for the people for a change, they capitalize on that opportunity. They are political opportunities anyway. They capitalize on it and they find themselves in the corridor of power. What did they do? They got to the National Assembly. They did not do something different. They quickly aligned with those political parties that have been undermining us. And that is the reason why in this new dispensation, we need to also be very calculating. Okay. We must not give it to those persons who are looking for a platform to get to where they are going. When they get there, they throw it away.
Sir, you mentioned you gave a narrative about those that voted for a particular party, or yes, a particular party, not necessarily the candidates during the 2023 election, that some even got to the National Assembly. They got to the National Assembly, even on a normal political contest, they might not be able to win local government election, as you said. Then you said of these voters are disappointed that these officers have been elected have defected to the APC, and they are not really enthusiastic about getting involved in the process anymore. Do you think, yes, and that's a political apathy for us as a country? How can we help to manage that situation? How can we get people more engaged? Because one, people have complained about the electoral process, the electoral institution, INEC, in charge of the elections. Some people do not have confidence in INEC. They do not have confidence in our democracy because of how it has been marred by some individuals. The judiciary is no longer a place where they get fairness and justice. So how do we encourage people? We have election coming up, presidential election coming up in about 2 years' time. How do we encourage people to get involved?
That is what we are doing now. We have already started the process. Even our interaction now is a clear indication that we are also encouraging the people. We are telling the people not to give up. We are aware all the issues you enumerated are facts we can't run away from. The judiciary have not been there. INEC, they are busy hobnobbing and romancing with the government that been. If not, sure they have even metamorphosed into a department in the ruling party. It's as bad as that. We will not give up. The security architecture of this country, those who manage it, are also part and parcel of the ruling party. You know, therefore, this is a scenario we have found ourselves, but we can't give up, as I said. We must continue to push further. We must continue to assure the people. That the oppressors will not leave us until the oppressed have to start saying that I have to go. If you remember biblically, it was not the Egyptian that said the Israel should go. The Israelites also say we have to go. And they start pushing for it. That's what we are telling the Nigerian people, the masses, the electorate, and the patriotic Nigeria not to give up. Because the numbers of these persons who are oppressing us, they are quite very few compared to the 250 million Nigerians. And these persons, these cabals, they with due respect to them, they are less than 1 million. Therefore, it's enough for we. How many? We have 36 governors. We have 109 senators. We have 360 House of Reps. Commissioners put together, they are less than 1 million. Therefore, with the people, we have the number. With the number, if we harness ourselves when we organize ourselves, we will be able to defeat them. The task is not going to be easy. It's an onerous task, highly Herculean. But with determination and sincerity of purpose, we will humble them. We will not only defeat them, we will humble them. I want to assure Nigerians not to give up. We will continue to push forward. We will get it one day.
Okay. So I want to have your thoughts on the court process in the Nigeria legislation. More recently, about I think earlier in the year, when the issue of Senator Natasha and Senator Fabio arrived at the National Assembly, when the senator from Kogi State, the constituents instituted a recall. It is in our constitution that it has to be 50% of registered voters, 50 plus 1% of registered voters in that constituency, not necessarily those that voted the senator in, but 50% plus 1 that must sign the recall process. Because I'm trying to link this with some obedience you mentioned earlier in your first response. Some obedience being disappointed that some legislators rode on the back of Peter Obi and they won the elections into the National Assembly. Do you think that recall process is quite too difficult to achieve for genuine reasons, especially if the constituents intend to recall their legislators? Do you think that 50 plus 1% is a high mountain for constituents to climb to recall their legislators who they think are not performing?
Of course, the task before us, recalling process is not an easy process. You recall that it is the legislator who drafted this law. They envisage a situation like this, that when they are elected, they can go there and demonstrate a level of rascality and a don't care attitude towards those who elected them. Then they now put a caveat. They make the whole process to be Herculean. They make it to be very hard for you to achieve. Therefore, recalling a senator, a legislator, it's not an easy job. And that is the point, because our legislators are those who also craft that laws. They are aware. They know what they want to do. But in all, there is a position on the law. We say we can recall.
Yeah.
If the system that be the government that be, allow the people genuinely to embark on the recall process, it is possible. It is doable. The reason why Natasha recall process failed, it is because it was not coming from the people. It was being masterminded by the Abuja base, who believe that they are the cabals, they have the power, or not to that the people on the floor, also on the ground, they are also very relevant. They did not carry the people along. About 2 to 3 persons want to go and sit. They sat in the comfort of their room because we are in a corrupt nation. They start manipulating the entire process, signing the different signature. When I demand for, you must come. Let's prove your signature, your email address, your phone number, and where you reside. They don't find out that it's not going to be easy as they were thinking. They quickly back up. But if fundamentally Nigeria was a society that was working, if those persons were not being backed by the power that be, it could have been very easy now to even institute action against those who were back on those missions. I remember there was a particular woman who was spearheading it. They need to, I'm not supposed to call her and say, who are these person who fit this? Because you cannot just wake up and come and waste our time. Let us know this person. If she cannot provide those person who will not be an issue, with their signature, you can't provide it, then she will be liable. But because the power that be, that's the reason why I said Nigeria is an unusual state. It's an unusual state. If you have the backing of the power that be, you can do anything you want to do. You understand me? These are the issues. If you have that power, once they are with you, once we are the power that be are with you, and ant can chase an elephant, and it will get results. That is what prayer in this country. It's very unfair, and it's also very sad. That is where we are. It is what it is. That is what we are used to. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the coalition. I want to ask you straight up. Do you think it's a right step? The coalition, the recent coalition of different political candidates under the umbrella of ADC.
Coalition, to me, yes. No matter democracy without opposition is not democracy. First and foremost, whether coalition achieve their aim or not, but let there be an opposition. You will agree with me there is no viable opposition. For the past 2 years, no viable opposition. That is the reason why you can see some personalities who don't even know the parties they belong to now. So we don't know. I can tell you, a man called Wike, whether it's in PDP or APC, you cannot even convince it. Even himself doesn't even know the party he belongs to. It's as bad as that. If we have a strong opposition who checkmates, things like this could have not happened. We could have not degenerated to this level we are now, that somebody can eat his cake and have it. Therefore, first of all, let us appreciate that fact that democracy recognizes opposition. Therefore, coalition already have a point there. Whether they will succeed or not succeed, that is another discussion. Let's have a very viable, strong opposition that will checkmate the ruling party. My father once told me that there is nobody on earth that is too good to perpetually remain in power. And there is no person on earth that is too bad to perpetually remain in opposition. It's about check and balance. It's about you are there after somebody will come and say, this is what you have not been doing. We have seen 16 years of PDP. I was here as an activist, a critical activist. I was on the neck of PDP for 16 years. But now we have seen the 10 years of APC. Therefore, you cannot know there's a difference between an orange and an apple. We are even fighting, we are mobilizing very seriously if we can be getting what we were getting under PDP. What does that show us to you is that it is good we experience APC. The coming of APC is a welcome development. I have nothing against it. They did 10 years. They might end 12 years. That is good. It's not left for with the electorate to now say, let's put them on the scale. PDP 10 years, APC 10 years. What do we have? On the strength of that, we can take a very informed decision, and that will help this country. Therefore, let all of us appreciate the coming together of some persons to form this coalition. We must appreciate them. Whether you like it or not, they are already getting results. I listened to one man in the sister session yesterday who was talking like a drunk. It's because the opposition was there. When the opposition was not there 6 months ago, the man was not bothered. He was always in his life. There is opposition. And whether you like it or not, he's very careful now. His reaching out mechanism have increased. He's no longer saying that it's not about him. He now is now aware. If there is no opposition, this is what not happening. But that coalition, gradually, they are already achieving their aims, as far as I'm concerned. Winning the election is another thing. But as of today, we have coalition who checkmating
the government
the ruling party. The ruling party already on their roots.
Okay. In 2022, you supported Peter Obi, if I'm correct.
Yes, I supported
You
Peter Obi.
supported Peter Obi. You were part of the obedient, a vocal voice for the obedient movement as at that election. And if this coalition do not give Peter Obi the ticket, do you think it stands a chance of getting the support of the majority of Nigerians to to send APC packing from Asoro?
You know, Obi, as of today, Peter Obi is a phenomenon. Peter Obi is not just a young man, he's also at that age, he's over 60. Therefore, but we are seeing him as a connection between the old, the very old, the old, and the young. We are seeing Peter Obi as at that level. We want to elect a president who can stand erect without not being guided physically. We want to have a president that can articulate a position with facts and figure. That is what we are looking for. We are telling, some of us are telling coalition, they have to do a research to know what does the Nigeria need at this material time. Away from the South, I am a Southerner. I am from Edo State. I believe strongly that if this coalition is all about the northern agenda, a northern candidate emerging, I will not subscribe to it. I'm not a sectionalist person. I does not believe it have to be my tribe. But I believe that what is good for Musa is also good for Edward. That is my position. Very clearly that the 8 years of Buhari was another thing you cannot describe with words. It was a great wasting of our time and resources. The government could not differentiate between left and right. Even those who were there, critical example like Oshomole, they are talking Nuhu Ribado, they are telling you that the government of Buhari was a monumental failure and a disaster that happened to us. But as at that time, nobody was interested in coalition because the man is from the north. And if the northern, because the Southerners, then the northerners are, I'm saying if they want to use this as a small screen to find their way within the coalition to say they want to bring a northern candidate, yours sincerely will not be there. I can assure them, we will mobilize against them. Because it is not only when, this coalition came, the first coalition that unseat Jonathan, unseat a person from the south. Therefore, the second time, it cannot happen. Because in the words of my father, he said, you cannot hit my goat twice and call it a mistake. We must be very deliberate on what we are doing. The coalition must recognize that the Southerner need to have that ticket to checkmate the Southerner. And that person we are seeing is Peter Obi, who have that charisma at this material time, who is the bride that everybody want to see, everybody want to listen. Anything different from Peter Obi, I can assure you, we have no option than to prefer to manage where we find ourselves.
Okay, thank you. You bagged a Bachelor of Science degree in Sociology and Anthropology from our institution, the University of Benin. Can you say sociology has influenced your advocacy? Can you have a link between your study of sociology and your advocacy today? Is there a link? Is there a linkage between both?
Of course, my going to University of Benin, was not a waste. And I keep on telling people, naturally, when I left secondary school, 1994, I wrote my WAEC and my JAMB. My first JAMB, I scored 201. I got an admission in University, I think that it's now AAU. And I told people I don't want to go to state school. As even some of my friends they said, oh, we are going there. I said, no, I don't want to go to state school. Not that I don't believe in state school. I want to go to a federal school so that my network of friends can also be very broad. That was my thinking there, and I believe that. That was why, first of all, I came to University of Benin. I did diploma in social work for 2 years. And later I came by the spent a year. Then I came back again to come and do the sociology, you know. Whether you like it or not, some of my quotations and you are saying they are product of sociological thinking and sociological theories. These are what shaping my mind. All the theories the philosophers I'm quoting, they are all product of the social class I formed myself. And those who formulated the theory of the society, they were all great sociologists. Even society was formulated on the theory of sociological thinking. Thomas Hobbes. You know, these are great thinkers. These are persons who are reshaping my thinking and my disposition. Because he said, you know, Thomas Hobbes said that let us have a society that is just for us. And that was how he came with this theory of society that we are enjoying. You know, he came up with that they developed the social contract theories. These are what makes society to work. We could have never have a society, these great men were not around to give us a sense of direction on how we should live. And I keep on encouraging people, you must have a background in sociological thinking and a sociological behavior for you to enjoy society. And that's the reason why nothing had me so hard in this life. Because when I look at my background, I look at what made the society, my interaction with people become very free. These are what I benefit from UNIBEN. And UNIBEN also very fundamentally, the kind of friends I was able to make and gather over the years is because I went to University of Benin. I remember in our NAS struggle, if we go to NAS, if your University of Benin is not around there, NAS, they don't like it. You know, when we stop NAS, we usually they will be waiting for UNIBEN today, and we deliberately want to keep back so that we will be the last to come. When we are storming there, they say UNIBEN around. It's a sense of belonging to me, and it's a sense of pride that today I went to University of Benin. And I'm very proud to be an alumnus. And I'm encouraging people who want to go to school. I'm not doing publicity for UNIBEN, but if I do that, have mercy on me. I think UNIBEN is the best place you want to go to acquire knowledge, even to acquire skills. I'm very proud of my background as one.
Yes, we all are proud of that institution. You mentioned UNIBEN giving you this array of friends, this collective of friends. Which what other attributes, what other attributes did you take from the institution? What can you say UNIBEN taught you outside giving you friends?
You know, the UNIBEN gave me, I don't know how to even describe it because I see UNIBEN as a part of my life. They laid that foundation for me. I listened to great professors there who were my teachers. Professor Igbinovia, where he in his inaugural lecture, the criminal in all of us, whose horse have we not taken? You know, when I listen to those kind of personalities, I went to Wabafo, Dr. Wabafo. They reshaping my idea and my thinking. They let me know that there is reward for hard work. You know, shortcut to life was some of those things they told us. No, don't embark on any shortcut. Life, take your life in sequence. After 1, you get to 2. After 2, you get to 3. Don't move from 1 to 10. These were basic orientation that were inculcated in me. Until tomorrow, and I'm very proud to say it anyway, I hate corruption because I passed through these personalities. In all my life, I have worked tirelessly to fight and to discourage corruption tendencies. I'm in my advocacy, how will the society work is my calling, because UNIBEN gave me that platform. And I will not forget in a hurry, and I will continue to promote what UNIBEN stands for. And as of today, I encourage people to go to UNIBEN, because what UNIBEN will make you to stand out. I'm talking to you today, and it's a privilege because I went to University of Benin. Those who will be watching us, who will be seeing this program later, they will not know where I'm coming from. And that is a sense of pride. It's a sense of belonging. You have humbled me Do you know how many persons who have went to schools who don't even know whether they have what they call an alumni series? I'm a UNIBEN Alumni Series now. Am I not supposed to be happy? It is a UNIBEN platform that I'm still showcasing. Therefore, why will I not be proud of the great University of Benin? You know, to me, University of Benin, they gave me that foundation. Therefore, I must continue to encourage them to sustain that temple. All my friends, basically, across the globe today, these are persons I know University of Benin. And since then, we have enjoyed that relationship from A to Z. In any part of the world I find myself, any of my friends I will be reaching out, those who I knew from University of Benin. I don't have any other friends I'm seeing now, those we already met when I'm out. But fundamentally, once I'm out of this town, out of this country, anywhere I find myself, the first call I'm making to anybody is those my UNIBEN struggle. Therefore, I must tell you that I'm proud to be a product of University of Benin.
Thank you very much, sir. We would like to encourage others who did not attend UNIBEN, try to get at least a certification from the institution. Let the institution pass through you. You will really understand what we mean. Lastly, Comrade, you mentioned NAS activities and all that. What other fun memories do you have of your time at the University of Benin?
As a student in Young Student University of Benin, I was a member of Man Work Club. Therefore, that makes me to be a member of the anti-cost. We were strictly against courtesy and court-related activities. Till tomorrow, I'm still preaching against court and courtesy and court-related. UNIBEN also gave me that platform. When I got to University of Benin, I said, how do I promote humanity? How do I promote society? And I saw a club called Man Work Club University of Benin, and I identify with that club. To date, I am still there. Even when we graduated, we have the senior member of Man Work Club, aka Council of Statesmen, where we find ourselves. We are still, that relationship is still there, the bond is there. We are still, as I'm talking to you now, every month we meet across the globe. Even let me also shock you, we'll be meeting all members, the senior members of Man Work Club of Benin. We'll be meeting in Benin by the end of this month. We are going to spend 3 days in one of the highest hotels in Benin here, where our members will be residing for 2 to 3 days. No, reminiscent of what we are able to do, thinking of where we are coming from, setting an agenda for ourselves. Why will I forget UNIBEN in a hurry? These are strong memories. I will not forget. And it keep me going. In the society, I was quoted into a member of the Rainbow. Because I was a member of Man Work Club, and they saw my disposition as a man who is against courtesy. Dr. A.K. Justo, he's a lecturer at University of Benin. You remember, he said, Roy, people like you need to be a member. We were there very strongly, working very hard to discourage the younger generation not to embrace courtesy. These are some of my benefits. I will continue to list and list. These are benefits. The courage and the confidence for a man like me who was born in a little village. Coming to lifetime to University of Benin, it's a thing of pride to me. If I did not attend University of Benin, I would not be able to have this kind of opportunity I'm enjoying. Even as a young student, people never knew. Even as a young student, I was already in a program. As a young, I was undergraduate. That's the reason why people find it difficult to even understand whether this man is an old man, it's a young man. Because at a very young age, I was already there. There was a time I was the youngest political party chairman in Sub-Sahara. Shomole 2024 election, you remember coalition that was formed in Edo State that produced Solomon Edebiri as the candidate. Yes, sincerely was the chairman of that coalition, and I was the youngest person among. If you understand those working, why will I not be proud of the University of Benin? Why will I forget that funds and that memory? More than those days, we are University of Benin. That's what we do. We have campus Sheraton. I don't know whether I see there. Where we have to go and relax ourselves. I don't know whether it's here.
I'm not sure. When I finished years back, I'm not sure I saw that.
You go to 2 or
Yes.
1 car park. You go to Hall 3. You go to Hall 4. You know, these are some of the memories you know that you are in a school. Those our friends who went to the other schools, they will come to University of Benin and say, "Man, you guys are the one who are in the university." When I go to their school, I begin to wonder whether they are not glorified secondary school. I say, "What? You call this a university?" Do you know what it takes me before I was able to see my vixie there? Huh? It took me years before I was able to see a vice chancellor, University of Benin. But in some of that school, I was in some of that school on holidays to see some of them. I'll see them. In short, I witnessed one examination that was written in one of the university where people were jumping out of hall. And I say, "You are in the university." Say, "Yeah." I say, "Come to University of Benin." You always see a notice,
Yes.
examination in progress. That is enough for you to know that you are indeed in a high school, you are in the university that have respect. You know, against University of Benin still remain a very tough school that I will not forget. It's shaping my life, and I'm indebted to University of Benin. If God give me opportunity, I will reward and pay them
Thank
accordingly.
you
Thank you,
very
and
much.
God
That's
bless
a
you.
beautiful place to anchor. Thank you very much, Senior Comrade. Thank you for your. It was an interesting conversation we have had in the past 30 minutes plus. Thank you for creating time to be part of the show, part of the series. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
I've been speaking with Comrade Roy Oribhabor. He is a human rights activist and social commentator. He's a convener concerned Edo Citizens Forum. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in sociology and anthropology. And before that, he has a diploma in sociology from the University of Benin. Continue to subscribe to our channel, bringing more exclusive interviews of UNIBEN alumni. Bye for now.
1970, we sure we did the forefront. Knowledge for selfish, for sure we did the work. Auditorium to basement of all faculty of law.